welcome forward to Jesus' Course in Miracles. This is chapter 2, page 15. The real vision obscured because man cannot endure to see his own defiled altar. But since the altar has been defiled, his state becomes doubly dangerous unless it is perceived. The fear of healing arises, in the end, from an unwillingness to accept the unequivocal fact that healing is necessary. Man is not willing to look on what he has done to himself. Healing is an ability lent to man after the separation, before which it was completely unnecessary. Like all aspects of the space-time belief, healing ability is temporary. However, as long as time persists, healing is needed as a means for human protection. This is because healing rests on clarity, and clarity is a way of perceiving the perfection of another even if he cannot perceive it himself. Most of the loftier concepts of which man is capable now are time-dependent. Charity is really a weaker reflection of a much more powerful love encompassment, which is far beyond in any form of clarity that man can conceive as of yet. Charity is essential to right-mindedness in the limited sense in which right-mindedness can now be attained. Charity is a way of looking at another as if he already had gone far beyond his actual accomplishments in time. Since his own thinking is faulty, he cannot see the atonement for himself, or he would have no need for charity. The charity which is accorded him is both an acknowledgement that he is weak and a recognition that he could be stronger. The way in which both of these perceptions are stated clearly implies their dependence on time, making it quite apparent that charity lies within the human limitations, though toward its higher levels. We said before that only revelation transcends time. The miracle, as an expression of true human charity, can only shorten time at most. It must be understood, however, that whenever a man offers a miracle to another, he is shortening the suffering of both. This introduces a correction to the whole record, which corrects retroactively as well as progressively. Fear as lack of love. You believe that being afraid is involuntary, something beyond your control. Yet I have told you several times that not only constructive acts should be involuntary. We have said that the Christ control can take over everything that does not matter, while Christ's guidance can direct everything that does, if you so choose. Fear cannot be Christ-controlled, but it can be self-controlled. It prevents me from controlling it. The correction is therefore a matter for your will, because its presence shows that you have raised the unimportant to a high level that it warrants. You have thus brought it under your will, where it does not belong. This means you feel responsible for it. The level of confusion here is obvious. The reason I cannot control fear for you is that you are attempting to raise to the mind level the proper content for lower order reality. I do not foster level confusion, but you can choose to correct it. You would not tolerate insane behavior on your part, and you would hardly advance the excuse that you couldn't help it. Why should you tolerate insane thinking? There is a confusion here which you would do well to look at clearly. You believe that you are responsible for what you do, but not for what you think. The truth is that you are responsible for what you think, because it is only at this level that you can exercise choice. What you do comes from what you think. You cannot separate yourself from truth by giving autonomy to behavior. This is controlled by me automatically as soon as you place what you think under my guidance. Whenever you are afraid, it is a sure sign that you have allowed your mind to miscreate or have not allowed me to guide it. It is pointless to believe that controlling the outcome of misthought can result in healing. When you are fearful, you have willed wrongly. This is why you feel responsible for it. You must change your mind, not your behavior, and this is a matter of will. You do not need guidance except at the mind level. Correction belongs only at the level where creation is possible. The term does not mean anything at the symptom level, where it cannot work. The correction of fear is your responsibility. When you ask for release from fear, you are implying that it is not. You should ask instead for help in the condition which have brought the fear about. These conditions always entail a separation or a separated mind willingness. At that level, you can help it. You are much too tolerant of mind wandering, thus passively condoning its miscreations. The particular results does not matter, but the fundamental error does. The correction is always the same. Before you will do anything, ask me if you will is in accord with mine. If you are sure that it is, there will be no fear. Fear is always a sign of strain, which arises wherever the will is to do conflict with what you do. This situation arises in two ways. You can will to do conflicting things either simultaneously or successively. This produces conflicted behavior, which is intolerable to yourself because the part of the will that wants to do something else is outraged. 2. You behave as you think you should, but without entirely willing to do so. This produces consistent behavior, but entails great strain within the self. In both cases, the will and the behavior are out of accord, resulting in a situation in which you are doing what you do not will. This arouses a sense of coercion, which usually produces rage. The rage then invades the mind, and projection in the wrong sense is likely to follow. Depression or anxiety is virtually certain. And this ends the